Every Mother's Day, we buy gifts for our mom and take time to honor her. But does modern society still hold motherhood in high esteem, or do we need to adjust our focus somewhat and prioritize this very important role? What is the role of mothers in today's world? Well, joining us today from Lethbridge are Kelly and Joy-Lynn Stickel. They are the lead pastors at Parallel Church. And Joy-Lynn is a mother of 6. Great to have you with us again. I shouldn't leave out Kelly, who's a father of 6 as well. That doesn't even make sense.
Good
It's
role.
But we're
not my
talking
day. It's
about,
okay.
yeah, but we're talking about moms. So there you go, Joy-Lynn. So do you guys think the perception and the role of mothers has perhaps changed somewhat over the decades? What do you think?
Absolutely. Like, I think if you look back 100 years or to your great grandparents and stuff, motherhood was the role. And most women didn't work outside the home at all there. And so I think that was honored and respected way back when. And yeah, I think moving through the decades, the economy and women's rights and different things have moved it so that the homemaker and the mother at home isn't as, I guess, respected or elevated, and you see that echoed in society, right? Yeah.
And what impact did your mom have on your life? We'll go to you, Kelly.
Oh, wow. She had a huge impact on my life in multiple ways. I think one of the biggest way, my mom and I were really, really close. She passed away in 2006. And so I think reflecting back on that, you begin to, I don't know, just appreciate her that much more when she's not here in the same way. But I think one of the biggest things that I learned from her, the impact that she had on me is my mom was extremely selfless in that she sacrificed uh, everything for us. I mean, she went to work just so that we could go to Christian school and to get Christian education. She, on top of that, would drive us at her own time, drive us from, we were 45 minutes away from the school, and she'd drive us back and forth with a group of other kids on top of working and then on top of taking care of the home. And I watched that selflessness and that impact and that sacrifice, and yeah, just eternally grateful.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, some moms are just so incredible, and your mom, Kelly, definitely sounds like that. What about you, Joylyn?
Yeah. My mom is also very selfless and
Mhm.
all about her kids. And if you think that 6 kids is a lot, my mom and dad have 16 kids.
What?
Yeah, and they fostered all my life and they adopted, and just the both of them working together at home, raising children who wouldn't have a home otherwise, uh, really set the tone for us, really. And we've adopted 3 of our children as well. And I think a lot of that was the influence of my mom and my parents with that selflessness and really just drawing people in who needed love.
Wow, just incredible people. Now, what would you see as some of the most important roles a mother holds that impact our kids and our society?
Yeah, I would say that a mom loves like no other. So they have unconditional love, and I think that's a big part of, like, we have older children and then we have younger children, so we kind of have the 2 chunks. And our older boys, they still come to us and they still want to spend time with us and love on us. And I think yeah, I think that having that openness and that unconditional love really helps with that. And somebody that they can talk to is a big part of motherhood. I remember sometimes the kids would come home from a late night and just, it'd be 11 or 12 and they'd be like, can we just sit down and talk? And absolutely. Absolutely. So those kind of things are a mom or a dad, but I feel like yeah, there's something with moms that is just unconditional love.
And, obviously we're looking at crazy inflationary times. Things are so expensive. And, we have more single moms now than we ever did before. And of course, economic times are often requiring two parents to work. It puts a lot of pressure on moms, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like with moms, they have such the weight of the home as well as having the finances and economy being low is really tricky with that. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. No, I spent most of my kiddo's life being a single mom, so I can definitely relate to that. But I haven't seen times like these before with inflation and just the cost of everything going up. I just can't imagine doing it on my own these days. So, any thoughts on ways that the church can offer support to moms?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important for the church to play a role and to come alongside moms and parents as a whole.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I mean, just because we had, a parents, each one of us had parents, doesn't mean that we know how to be one. And just because we were once a kid doesn't know that we know anything about raising one.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's important for the church to provide training
Mhm.
and equipping is the main role. Your pastors equip the saints for the work of the ministry, and when you think about it, there's no more important ministry, ever than raising our children
Yeah.
and the next generation. So I think we need to equip and come alongside and to walk with and provide training. I think at the same time we also need to come alongside and provide support
Yeah.
groups and have small groups of moms that get together and can support one another and share with one another and carry each other's burdens. And we also like to do parenting nights or parent nights where we train, but we also take the kids and babysit them and let mom and dad have some fun.
Yeah.
Let moms have some fun, do
Break.
have a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
So little things like that. I think there's ways that the church should do that, but I think it's one of the most important roles that in society. And I do think we have a big job as a church to come alongside parents and to focus on that too.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you're 100% right there, Kelly. No, for myself, I wouldn't have survived probably if it wasn't for my ladies' groups and my mom's groups in the church. So, I mean, just fabulous. Now, what would you say to mothers who may not see themselves as quite measuring up, not being good enough, especially when comparing themselves to other moms out there?
I think you're not alone. Everybody does that. And I feel like social media has been horrible for this because people, they post their highlight reels and they don't see the behind the scenes. And every one of us has a behind the scenes, right? And even if we do have the highlight reels, there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot um of work with mothering and with disciplining and with taking time for yourself or whatever that goes into the good times. And so if every mother could just understand that they're not alone and we all have our moments of feeling inadequate. We all have our moments. Like Kelly said, the biggest role. It's huge. And um really, when we have our first child, we're just being born as a mother too. They don't come with instruction books. And so you're learning how that works with your specific child and with, if you have a husband, your specific family dynamic, you're learning that as you go. And so you're going to make mistakes. That's not bad, I guess. You're going to make mistakes as you are learning and growing as a mom.
Mhm. And not to forget grandmothers either, too. So big shout out here to grandmothers because they also get honored on Mother's Day, and they play such an important role as well with children growing up, don't they? I know my mom was right there for me the whole time. So what a big shout out to her. Go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, and I heard a stat just recently
Yeah.
that suicide among teens is the second leading cause of death in the U.S. and which is alarming. But they said the stat goes down to zero. Teenagers commit suicide if their grandparents are in the picture and they have a relationship with their grandparents. That's how vital
Yeah.
grandmothers and grandparents are to children. So I was
Yeah.
like, wow,
It's
that's
amazing.
stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets me right here for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So thankful for them.
Mhm. Now, Joy-Lynn, we don't usually see that many kids in one family these days, and I think most moms likely feel overwhelmed at times, even with a couple of kids. So, any advice for mothers on how to stay calm and keep things in a healthy perspective?
Well, I think like there's every family is different. And so having 2 kids or having 6 kids, it's your journey, right? And so it's not more honorable to have more kids. It's what you put into them and the time that you spend with them. But I think I think again, not comparing yourself to other people, just building that support around you. If it can be grandparents, that's beautiful. If it can be, like you said, your small groups at church that can help out even in practical ways, like, hey, I need to run to the store and I don't have anyone. Can you come watch my kid? Those kind of things. That is the church. That is what we do. We support each other. And so being not seeing that as weak and just understanding that everybody needs a village, and being okay to take time for yourself, doing things that you enjoy. When you come out of that, when you come out of that time, then you're a better mom and you're able to keep calm. And so those are things I've learned over the years. There's always the mom guilt that you have to be like, no, this is better, this is healthy when I can take time away and find that support system that works for your family.
True story. Mom guilt is real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what have been some of your biggest challenges as a mother, Joy-Lynn?
Um, I think one of the things is not just covering my kids' chores or whatever, like doing things that make it easier in the day rather than thinking long term and being like, my job is not to have friends with my kids at the end of the day. My job is to raise strong, healthy adults. And so if there's a discrepancy in what I'm doing in order to kind of make their life easy or make my life easy in the moment, but it's not growing them as people. I think those were the biggest things that I had to learn as a mom because it's easier to do it yourself. It's easier to not have them throw fits because they don't want to clean their room or all that. But just keeping in mind, yeah, you are building people to be strong society contributors when they're older. And what's the best way to do that today when they're 5, when they're 6? So I had to learn that for sure.
Wow. And Kelly, any advice for dads as to how to teach their children to honor and respect their mother?
Yeah, I think just to emphasize that for some reason, I think honoring mom in particular
Mhm.
is probably the one keystone habit that triggers respect and honor for everyone else in society. So I think it's probably the most important thing. I put more weight on how my boys treated and honored and respect mom than even how they treated and honored and respected me. And there's something that happens if especially young men can honor and respect mom, they will honor and respect their future wife. And if they honor and respect mom, they're going to honor and respect women as a whole and society as a whole.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably one of the biggest keystone habits, one of the biggest things to emphasize as dads. One of the things that I did with my boys when the older boys now that when they were 12 is I said, okay, here's one of the rules. You're going to honor and respect your mom, and you're going to have to date your mom before, and she has to get permission before you have the ability to date anyone else. We didn't set an age for them to say, "Oh, you have to be 16 before you date." We said, "No, no.
Yeah.
When mom thinks you're ready to treat a woman right, then she will give permission to you to date." So it was kind of a key.
It was awesome.
It was awesome because when they started taking mom on dates, we knew, oh, there's an interest. What's going on?
It's the girl.
It's the girl. But it was cool. But they had to pay for the date. They had to do all of it to mom to learn how to treat mom
Wow.
open doors for her, do all the different things that treat her properly, because then,
That's such a
yeah.
great idea. I think every boy should do this. That's a great idea. Kelly, where did you come up with that? Or did you read it somewhere? It's genius, really.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd read a number of books. One of the books that really stood out to me is Raising a Modern Day Knight in talking about boys. But then just seeing the emphasis on moms. I don't know that we read it anywhere. I think we just talked about it and said, hey, what if we were
Yeah.
to do this? And one of the things that I always give advice to young girls and who, as a pastor, who come to counseling or whatever and have this boy that they're interested in, one of the things that I always would point out to them is, how does he treat his mom, as the key indicator as to how he's going to treat you in the future.
Mhm.
And so I think just in seeing that, observing that, I think we just said, okay, well, let's be intentional about how they treat mom and make that the emphasis.
Wow, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Both of you, thanks so much for being here today and for sharing all of your wisdom with us. Unfortunately, we're out of time. I could go on and on. I still have more questions for you, but thanks once again for being here.
Thank you so
Thanks so
much.
much.
Absolutely. Kelly and Joy-Lynn Stickel are the lead pastors at Parallel Church in Lethbridge. So happy to have them on today. And happy Mother's Day to you, Joy-Lynn.
You as well. Thank you.
And happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers, our mother viewers out there. I'm Jeanette Roche on behalf of all of us here at Bridge City News. Thanks so much for watching.